The screen flickers, a low hum pulses through the speakers, and the world holds its breath. Canada, our quiet neighbor to the north, has just dropped a bombshell that's shaking the foundations of global trade. A trade blackout. Yes, you heard that right. Canada has declared war not with tanks or troops, but with tariffs, borders, and a cold, calculated economic strike aimed straight at the heart of America. The U.S., caught off guard, is scrambling, and the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just a trade spat. It's a seismic shift that could reshape economies, disrupt lives, and spark a chain reaction across the globe. Buckle up, because this story is about to take you on a roller coaster of suspense, betrayal, and high-stakes drama that's unfolding right now. Let's set the stage. It's 2025, and the world is already on edge. Inflation's biting, supply chains are creaking, and tensions between nations are simmering like a pot ready to boil over. The U.S., under President Donald Trump's second term, has been flexing its economic muscle, slapping tariffs left and right to put America first. Steel, aluminum, cars, you name it. Trump's tariffs have hit hard, targeting Canada, Mexico, China, and beyond. His reasoning? Protect American jobs, secure the borders, and stop the flow of drugs like fentanyl. But Canada? Canada's not having it. For years, they've been America's closest ally, sharing the world's longest undefended border, trading billions daily, and standing shoulder to shoulder through wars and crises. So when Trump pointed the tariff gun at Canada, accusing them of everything from weak border security to unfair trade practices, it felt like a knife in the back. Enter Prime Minister Mark Carney, Canada's new leader. A man with a reputation for cool-headed strategy and a knack for turning tables. When Trump announced a crippling 35% tariff on Canadian goods starting August 1, 2025, Carney didn't just sit there. He didn't send a polite diplomatic note or beg for negotiations. No, he went nuclear. Canada retaliated with a staggering $155 billion in counter tariffs on American goods, everything from liquor to appliances, vegetables to sports equipment. But that was just the warm-up. Whispers started circulating, rumors of something bigger, something unprecedented. Then, on August 25, 2025, Canada dropped the hammer, a trade blackout, okay? Total unrelenting shutdown of key exports to the U.S. oil, gas, electricity, critical minerals, the lifeblood of American industry, and homes cut off with surgical precision. Ontario's Premier Doug Ford, a firebrand in his own right, even threatened to cut off their energy with a smile on my face. The message was clear. If America wants a trade war, Canada's ready to fight dirty. Now, let's pause for a second and think about what this means. The U.S. relies on Canada for 60% of its crude oil imports, 85% of its electricity from certain regions, and critical minerals like nickel and cobalt that power everything from electric car batteries to military tech. Imagine gas stations drying up, power grids flickering, and factories grinding to a halt. That's the kind of chaos Canada's blackout could unleash. And it's not just about resources. This is personal. Canadians are furious, feeling betrayed by their southern neighbor. Hockey fans are booing the American anthem at NHL games. Social media is exploding with hashtag by Canadian campaigns, urging people to ditch American products. One Canadian importer, Joseph Chua, put it bluntly, "Trump wants to come after us? We'll hit back harder." This isn't just economics, it's pride, it's identity. It's a nation saying we won't be pushed around. But how did we get here? Rewind to February 1st, 2025. Trump, fresh off his inauguration, signs an executive order imposing 25% tariffs on all Canadian goods except oil and energy, which get a 10% hit. Calls it a national emergency, pointing to fentanyl and illegal immigration, even though less than 1% of U.S. fentanyl comes from Canada. The move blindsides Ottawa. Then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, already on shaky political ground, vows retaliation, announcing $30 billion in counter tariffs, with plans to escalate to $155 billion in weeks. By March, the tariffs are in full swing, and both economies are reeling. American consumers are hit with higher prices at gas pumps and grocery stores. Canadian businesses, dependent on U.S. markets, face layoffs and uncertainty. The Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, meant to ensure free trade, is teetering on the edge of collapse. Then, a twist. Trudeau steps down, and Mark Carney steps up, Former Bank of England governor, with a razor-sharp mind, Carney shifts Canada's strategy from defense to offense. He knows the U.S. needs Canada more than it admits. Canada supplies 34% of U.S. lumber, 28% of its auto parts, and nearly all the potash for American fertilizer. Carney's plan? Weaponize that leverage? On August 7th, as Trump's tariffs hit a record 18% average, the highest since 1934, Canada doubles down. Provinces like Alberta and Quebec join the fight, banning American companies from government contracts. Saskatchewan stops buying U.S. liquor. Nova Scotia doubles tolls on American trucks. And then the blackout. Carney announces Canada will halt exports of critical resources unless Trump backs off. It's a high-stakes gamble, and the world is watching. But here's where it gets murky. Is this blackout real, or is it a bluff? Some analysts say Canada's economy, so tied to the U.S., can't afford a total cutoff. Trade accounts for 67% of Canada's GDP, and 73% of its exports go south. A prolonged blackout could tank Canada's economy as much as America's. Yet Carney's holding firm, backed by a united front of provincial leaders. Meanwhile, Trump's doubling down, calling Canada's moves an egregious tax, and threatening even steeper tariffs. On social media, he's hinted at cutting off all trade talks, saying we have all the cards. But do they? American businesses are screaming. Auto plants in Detroit, reliant on Canadian parts, are slowing production. Oil refineries in Texas are scrambling. Even Trump's own advisors, like Peter Navarro, are reportedly urging caution, knowing the fallout could spark inflation and job losses at home. The suspense is unbearable. Will Trump blink first? Or will Carney's blackout bring America to its knees? Every day brings new developments. Just last week, Carney announced Canada would drop some counter-tariffs on CUSMA-compliant goods, a calculated olive branch to keep negotiations alive. But the levies on steel, aluminum, and autos remain, and the blackout looms like a storm cloud. Sources say Carney and Trump spoke on August 22nd, but no deal was reached. Trump's August 1st deadline came and went, and now he's threatening a 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum. Canada's response? A chilling warning of more countermeasures to come? If talks collapse? Let's zoom out. This isn't just about Canada and the U.S. The trade war's ripples are hitting the world. China, already locked in its own tariff battle with Trump, is watching closely, ready to exploit any weakness. The European Union, slapped with its own 30% tariffs, is scrambling to secure new trade deals. Mexico, spared the worst of Trump's wrath for now, is tiptoeing through negotiations, knowing it could be next. Global markets are in chaos, with the S&P 500 swinging wildly and companies like Nike and Adidas warning of price hikes. The Yale Budget Lab estimates Trump's tariffs could cost American households $2,400 a year. And for Canada, the stakes are existential. If this blackout holds, it could redefine North America's economic map or plunge both nations into a recession. What's next? That's the question keeping economists, politicians, and everyday people awake at night. Will Canada follow through on its blackout threat, or is this a masterclass in brinkmanship? Will Trump, known for his unpredictable deal-making, find a way to de-escalate, or will he push harder, risking everything? The clock's ticking, and the borders become a battleground. Businesses are holding their breath, consumers are bracing for higher prices, and two nations, once inseparable, are staring each other down in a game of economic chicken. This is where you come in. What do you think happens next? Will Canada's blackout cripple America, or will Trump's tariffs force Canada to back down? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's unpack this together. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Stay locked in because this trade war is just getting started, and the next move could change everything.